Call the meeting to order. New roll call, please.
Belsley.
Here.
Blunier.
Here.
Hare.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott. We have a quorum.
All right, let's join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no public hearings tonight, or presentations or special reports. Anybody in the public like to make a comment? Anybody in the public like to remove any items from the consent agenda? The consent agenda tonight is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting December 4th, 2017, closed session December 4th, 2017, and approval of the bills. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I have nothing tonight, village clerk.
Just one quick item, reminder, our next meeting would normally be on first Monday of the month, which happens to be New Year's Day, so it'll be on Tuesday, January 2nd.
All right,
That's all I have.
thank you. Village administrator.
I have a couple things tonight, Your Honor. I have two things on the agenda, but prior to that, I would like to make a comment on some of the public comments that were made at the meeting 2 weeks ago. There were some questions in regards to the fallen soldier battle cross and at the Memorial Plaza. And Craig and I have looked through everything, and the battle cross and the relocation of the Civil War monument that was discussed were not in the original Memorial Plaza plans, nor were they ever considered in the project budget. And this was discussed with the representatives of the VFW, the American Legion, and the EDC at the dedication planning meeting we had on March 30th, 2017. There was discussion also the other night about the cost and the amount of money that were raised. And the final construction cost for the plaza was in excess of $1,880,000. And we are currently spending between $800 and $1,000 per month on maintenance. And the village received reimbursement from the fundraising managed by the Morton Community Foundation of $874,430. And we also received a grant for $2,512, which was to help pay for the sound system. So the village's resulting cost of the project was $930,320. And those monies that were the village's portion were spent out of the building or the business district fund, which had been allowed to accumulate in order to raise money for this project. And these, we had an article that was printed in the Peoria Journal-Star back in on May 14th of 2017 that discussed all of these figures that were in question. So I just wanted to bring that to the public's attention and just let everybody know basically the answers to the questions that were raised last time. The first thing I have on the agenda is Ordinance 17-30, which is an ordinance for the levy and assessment of real estate taxes for the fiscal year beginning May 1st and ending April 30th, 2018.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve. Second.
First and second, any discussion?
I wanted to point out that this is for a total of $2,134,000, which is an increase of $59,000 over last year's levy of $2,075,000, and it's a 2.84% increase.
Any trustees have a comment? If not, call the roll.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next item under my part of the agenda tonight is a recommendation for an approval of a tourism grant for the January 12th to the 13th, 2018 Blessed Sacrament 53rd Annual Boys Basketball Tournament in the amount of $3,000.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Julie, is this the, how many years have we been doing this event?
I believe this is the
Roughly.
first year they've applied.
First year they applied, okay.
This is the 53rd annual year they've had it.
Gotcha.
But this is the first year they've applied for a
Apply
tourism grant.
for funds. And then, do they request, do they say exactly what the funds will be used for in the grant?
That'd be a Susan question, yeah.
The funds are used to help host their event. They're in the process of building this event further because they're building a new gymnasium. And right now they host 10 teams. And their hope with their new gymnasium is as next year that they would be able to double that.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Susan, do you have any idea how much additional revenue that generates? Are there any overnights or anything associated with that?
They generate about $6,000. It's not really a fundraiser. It's more of a, for them, it's not such a fundraiser. What it is to bring small schools their size, and it's junior high level ball, to have a travel tournament. And when you're a private school, a Catholic school, that opportunities are not very many. And this is one of the tournaments that people travel from LaSalle, Peru, Galesburg to attend. And it's an opportunity that's really not come up very often for that level of ball.
Okay, sounds good.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Lehman,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Belsley,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And again, Julie, thank you for the transparency and answering the questions on the plaza. Chief of Police,
I have nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Corporation Counsel,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Fire Emergencies.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Glad to see you could get back.
We were very busy today.
Director of Public Works.
I have several items tonight, Your Honor. First in front of you is item A. I'd like to ask for acceptance of proposal from Purafil Filtration Group for chlorine scrubber equipment in the amount of $236,000. In parentheses, it says sensor calibration tool and kit. It should have said included $3,000 for that. So if you look at the packet, it's $233,000 for the equipment, and there's an add-on of $3,000.
On the third page is a 3,000 add-on. Front page is 233.
Want to get a motion first?
Yeah. Could I have a motion
So moved.
first?
Second.
Second?
Yeah, I'd just like to add for the public also, the chlorine scrubbers, again, are basically to chemically neutralize the chlorine gas prior to it discharging in the event of a leak into the environment from the two plant buildings, the one at Main and Plum and the one on Detroit. The reason why we have to do it now is I believe in the past we were granted a pass on that with our upgrades to our chlorine equipment. The EPA obviously flagged that, and that was a requirement of our project. This is called the Phase 2 modifications, of which we'd like to get the equipment going just because it takes a while, 12 to 15 weeks to get here. So in February we'll have potentially award for the remainder of the project, which would be more of the structural repairs in the building. But basically the EPA, the way it states is if you're near residential areas, those sort of things, and there's a chance for it to release into the air and affect that, you have to add it. So that's where it got flagged. Really the only reason it's being added in Phase 2 is EPA worked with us because the Phase 1 and the water quality between both parties was more important to get that expedited, knowing that we would come through later and follow up with Phase 2 at the end of 2017, 2018. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. Scott Desplinter from CMT is in the crowd, and so is Superintendent Burton.
Trustees have any questions or discussion?
Are you're comfortable with it? I know those are pretty.
Yeah, there's been a significant review. Scott's done a majority of that.
Right.
Basically, we're looking at two of them there with a significant cost difference. At this point, I think we like the other one. I think the cost difference is just, it's not justified in the three of our opinion.
Any other questions? If not, call the roll.
Newman.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next is item B. This is ordinance 17-31. This is an ordinance making amendments regarding propane tanks to section 82-10 of chapter 2 of title 8 of the Morton Municipal Code.
Could I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Any
So-
discussion?
Yeah, I worked with Trustee Belsley on this, Attorney McGrath, actually for some time here, and Superintendent Stidman. Every once in a while, we get a request for propane tanks as a source of gas service, and we felt the need to move forward with this to basically eliminate that option as a gas service in town. Obviously, we've got a natural gas system, so we felt that if the natural gas is in front of your house, that you should have to hook up that as a source of gas service, if that makes sense.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next is item C, ordinance 17-32. This is an ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 6, Section 2, AA of the Morton Municipal Code. This is in reference to one area on Greenwood that we'd like to extend the no parking area.
If I could have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's just a small area in front of Grundy School. I worked with Chief Hilliard, the principal. It's not really a big deal. It just really extends it. They've been parking fairly close to the entrance, and this kind of moves it out a little farther away from it, mainly for buses. It's another area where our streets are 32 foot wide with parking on both sides. Sometimes there's, it's an inconvenience there that's tough to get around. So this just gives it a little more movement for the bus. And to do anything no parking wise, traffic wise, is an ordinance. So that's all it is.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Belsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Planning and zoning officer?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Any of the village trustees have anything?
Merry Christmas.
We do need a closed session.
We have a motion on that.
Closed session on the agenda under 5 ILCS 120/2C2 to discuss collective negotiating matters between the village and its employees or their representatives.
Could I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
We're adjourned.